Hello, everybody. Welcome back to technical tip of Practical Ansible. So in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to expand the capability of Ansible. The goal of this video show how to move from operation people to DevOps engineer with the Practical Ansible. So my name is Daniel. I'm working for Red Hat as a technical marketing major. So let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about the section 2 of this book, Practical Ansible 2. So section 2 is more focused on the way expanding the capability Ansible. This section will cover important concept of Ansible plugins and modules. And it also cover both their effective use and how to expand Ansible capabilities by writing your own plugins and modules. And you will even look at the requirements for submitting your own modules or custom plugins back to the community Ansible project. You also look at coding test practice as well as some advanced Ansible techniques that allow you to safely automate your infrastructure even when you are working with your cluster environments. So let's talk a little bit about more detail and give some example. So here is a diagram for Ansible engine and all of its components. The following slides will dive into detail of component of Ansible automation and how they work together. So first of all, the Ansible automation requires playbooks, which are the list of tasks that tell Ansible engine what to execute. So we will show the example of Ansible playbook in the next slide. So here's a quick example. So install and start your Apache web server in the web group host. So maybe you can put in any host group like an application server or the east zone or west zone or my cluster zone, etc. And also you can see there are 3 tasks. The first of all, we're gonna install the HTTP package using the yum package manager in the Linux operating system, and then we're gonna copy index.html. It's a welcome page into context root directory in the Apache web server. And last thing is we're gonna start HTTP Apache web server. So 3 tasks using a different module the Ansible provides: the yum package manager and the template, copy and paste the file, and the service module to start your application and server, or etc. So the couple of more thing in when you create and write your playbook. So variable can be handled in many different ways. You can print the variable directly in your playbook, or you can specify as a part of a separate bars file, and you also parameterize your variable when you run ad hoc Ansible command line rather than writing Ansible playbook for simple Ansible execution, task execution. And it's not required to use a root user all the time for running, remote user, not your local environment, but you need to run your task in a remote server, like a web server, application server, or database. Because you can have Ansible Connect and run the playbooks as any user or even multiple users, as long as that user has the permission to perform the task in the playbook. And you can also even use multiple users and specify different users for different playbooks and tasks. And another the component is modules. Ansible modules are reusable standalone script that can be used by Ansible API or any the Ansible ad hoc command line or Ansible playbook programs. The module will return the information and detail to Ansible by printing JSON format string to stand out before exceeding. So you can also use parameters in several ways when you run the modules such as a Linux module or network module or cloud and the security, etc. And the other the other component is plugins. So plugins are pieces of code that augment Ansible's core functionality. So Ansible not only uses a plugin architecture to enable the rich, flexible, expandable feature set, but also ships with the number of handy plugins. So you can easily write your own custom plugin. So for example, there are lookup plugin with the Jinja to template. So with this template, you can parse your JSON format file, and then you can process that JSON file and import in your task to run it, or like in Kubernetes, create some object or manifester resources in Kubernetes cluster. And inventory, here's inventory example is showing based on INI format file. So Ansible inventory can be a static file or a GitHub repo or even external database. The beauty of the inventory file, you can define the list of a system in your infrastructure that automation is expected against your task. So for example, you can see the website. We have a multiple group the composed of a specific host, like a web group and database group and firewall group and the load balance or switches. Whatever you need, you can just specify in a grouping the host. So because when you make some group, okay, this task should be running on only web group, or this application deployment could be running on web and application group, etc. And also many users depend on dynamic inventory to import from existing tool like import blocks or public cloud or CMDB. I'm going to talk a little about in next slide. So here you go. The Ansible automation can dynamically pull inventory from existing cloud infrastructure or perform action against cloud APIs. For example, if you want to remove your Amazon VPC or create a new virtual machine on Microsoft Azure Cloud, and Ansible just use the module or API that cloud infrastructure provide. So for example, yeah, there are a lot of the cloud module. You can use that to manage or address the cloud resources using Ansible Playbook or Ansible engine. So Ansible can also use CMDB for inventory and for variable storage, because Ansible automation platform does not have to be your source of truth and can rely on other existing mechanisms within your IT org. So another benefit of the CMDB utilization, you can integrate easily existing infrastructure on your company, like a ServiceNow or on CMDB, to manage your resources such as Ansible Playbook and inventory, etc. So in the end, there's the infrastructure you are actually performing automations on, and Ansible automation has lots of platform support from Linux infrastructure, as well as the VMware or Windows Server and network devices like a router, switch, and also firewall and storage, and even IoT devices. You can use that. You can automate any task on top of that. So that means Ansible allows you to automate anything, everything in your IT footprint. So this is all I have wanted to share of the second section about how to become an ops engineer to DevOps engineer using Practical Ansible. If you're more interested about the become the reviewer on my Practical Ansible 2 book, just let me know. And first, you need to subscribe my YouTube channel. That'll be really fantastic for me to keep creating new valuable videos for the next time. And also, you can follow my Twitter and send me email or add your comment on the YouTube channel. Okay, I just subscribe, and please let me know the reference number to become reviewer. I will I'll give you for that. Okay, I hope you enjoy this video and have a good rest of the day, and thank you for watching.